We are back. We are back at the Geelong zone. It has not been a good week for us. It's not been a good week for Kyri, who travelled all the way to Gold Coast to watch that game. Though he did see some other games, but he mainly went there for the Geelong game. And we had a horrible game. Thank you all for watching. We'll read this quickly. When Monday comes around, the talk around town is what happens on the weekend of footy. Monday night's coach is talking footy. Monday night's coach is talking footy. That's supposed to be in the Saints theme song, or when Monday comes around, they talk around the town. Maybe not. But thank you so much for your opinion. We're here to not just review the Geelong game, but because I already did that. I did that for 2 hours. My watch along basically did that. And then I did another review with Kyri, then another review by myself. So we won't do too much on that game, but we've got other games to go through. We'll go through every single game, starting on Thursday night with the Sydney and Carlton game. Sydney 20-12, 132 versus Carlton 10-9, 69 at the SCG. The three monster trio midfield, we talked about this a lot. Gordon, Heaney, Warner combined for 77 disposals. 3 goals between them. Charlie Curnow also kicked 3 goals. Kyri, takeaways from this match?
What a way to start the season. It looked pretty close in the first half, but as soon as the Sydney midfield kicked in, I thought it was just game over from there. I think it was like 14 goals to 2 in that second half. They just absolutely blew them off the park, didn't they, Lucas? Dominant in the inside 50s, plus 17 there. The disposal efficiency, surprisingly, not too bad. Obviously, Sydney got 72.4 compared to Carlton 70, but it's obviously the efficiency inside 50 is what killed them at the end. Clearances nearly even, Sydney just had so much time and space around the ground, especially in the uncontested ball. Just really blew them off the park. It was. They sent a warning to the competition. Obviously, bringing in a big spearhead in Charlie Curnow. He made an absolute statement, especially in that second half. Looked a bit shaky from the start. I thought, here we go. This is going to be a classic Curnow performance. But to his credit, he turned it around. I think they could be the staple of the competition, and they are facing Brisbane next week. They could go 2-0. Brisbane could go 0-2, but we will talk about that later on. So, good win by the Swans, but same old Carlton, isn't it?
Yeah, and at half time we thought, gee, this is a new Carlton, because they were in front. They're doing really well, Carlton. But we saw the third quarter, Sydney, that three-headed monster, Gordon, Warner, and Heaney, just put the clamps on them, just absolutely destroyed them in the midfield. Once again, I keep saying this, we're now in an era where midfielders are going to kick more goals than ever. The games coming up is going to prove that. When Gordon, Heaney, and Warner are combining for 77 disposals and 3 goals, and Charlie Curnow kicking 3 goals, they're going to win a hell of a lot more games than they lose. That's for damn sure. Carlton, same old game plan. Their ball movement after halftime was absolutely atrocious. They were too slow with their movement, mucking around at fullback. Switch kicking not multiple times, not getting the ball forward. And when they did get the ball forward, Harry Mackay was awful, absolutely awful. Harry Mackay, and they're saying that this is the year that Harry has to step up. I didn't see any signs of that. Walsh was good up to half time. Stats say Walsh had a good game, but let's face it, the game was pretty much done in the fourth quarter.
He just didn't really. He got 32, but it just wasn't much of an impact. Like, not as hurtful as Heaney, Gordon, and Chad Warner. Patrick Cripps had an absolute stinker as well. I thought he played his worst game in a Carlton jumper. as well.
Yep.
But I'll tell you who was really good though, Jagger Smith for the Blues, and definitely an early case for a rising star as well. I've got a feel for the kid at the same time because if you have like Cripps or bloody Welsh pick up an injury, he's going to have to carry that midfield load, you know. And yeah,
it's a bit like Sam Rolsh when he started. He had to carry the load. And he looks absolutely fucked now with
much,
injury and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
it's. I think history says it's gonna be the same thing again, isn't it? You know, Patrick Cripps when Chris Judd was down, Sam Welsh when Patrick Cripps was down. It's a domino effect, isn't it? You know, I think it's bound to happen. But no, it's in all seriousness, I thought Jagger Smith, he was unreal. No, I think they definitely got themselves a good one, Carlton.
For sure with that. Sydney opening it's a huge advantage. It's a huge advantage. This had nothing to do with the game, but it's a huge advantage going to Sydney first with opening rounds compared to like playing a game in Melbourne or compared to playing a game in Adelaide. It's a huge advantage. So that's probably worked out well for Sydney that it is at home. Carlton's first game runs are horrible. They just can't win a first round game.
Nah.
So they probably have to address that next week. Surely they beat Richmond. We say surely, but they shouldn't lose to Richmond 2 games in a row, back-to-back years. For Sydney, they have Brisbane. Should win that. They should, from what we saw, they should win that.
And it's at the SCG as well, Lucas. Yep. Like I could definitely, absolutely see him win that one as well. They could easily be 2-0. You know, yeah, huge advantage. They got a huge leg up. It's a huge advantage for them. But yeah, but with Carlton, you absolutely think they could beat the Tigers. But this could go either a couple of ways. Carlton could absolutely blow them off the park, or this could go down to the wire. No matter who wins that one too. So that's 2 ways with that match for next week.
Moving on, I'm not sure we want to do this one. Moving on to
talked about it, didn't we?
Gold Coast 19-11, 125. They were very kind to us in that fourth quarter. Gold Coast, they could have easily got 150 in this game. Geelong 10-9, 69 at the Gold Coast Stadium, or People's Choice, whatever the hell you want to call it. This was probably down to one man. Petrarca, 34 disposals, 3 goals. That's your 3 votes. 71 inside 50s for Gold Coast. That's not going to get it done. If they're going to average 71 inside 50s a game, they will win the flag very easily. Long, King, Humphrey, G-Bear, nothing to do with Lawson Humphreys. We're talking about Gold Coast Humphrey Bear. Labate combined for 12 goals. 12 goals.
Yeah.
We're going to let you speak of this one. So our keys to the game. Early start. 10 minutes in the first quarter. We were down by 6 points. I wouldn't give it a tick. I wouldn't give it a cross. I think that's even. We would have taken that. If you said 10 minutes into the first quarter, we're down by 6, we take that. Reduce the Gold Coast inside 50 count. Yeah, that worked. 71 inside 50s. Change things if that's not working. What did we see after halftime? Same old halftime. Kyri, this was your main early start. Your thoughts with that?
Yeah. So what we talked about in the previous show was just the complete opposite. You know, 30 seconds in, Gold Coast get the opening, and I'm thinking to myself, I wasn't panicking at all. I thought to myself, all right, cool. Let's just reset. We always concede the opening goal anyways. See how we go. We just can't afford to give them time and space around the ground. But as soon as Bailey Humphrey, he was marking the ball, he was kicking goals, I'm thinking to myself, no, this is not going to be our night. It was the funny thing is we're only down 11 points, I think, at the first quarter. So there was a moment in the game where we could have fought back and won this game too. And if you check, I've got the stats up here, like the disposal count, we weren't far off it. The clearances, I'm surprised we actually led both in the centre. Stoppages as well. We were around the mark as well. So we were actually winning in the contest, but it's just when we had the ball, we were just not hitting our targets. Like these long bomb kicks and hoping for the best. We're just not lowering the eyes when there are numbers around the ground, getting it inside 50. You wonder why. You wonder why, like players like Shannon Neal and all of our other forwards, just could not get the ball, because it's the kicking from the transition from the midfield into the forward line just was not connecting whatsoever. Yes, Brian Myers was on the field, but he wasn't at his best. But yeah, it was just our ball. It was just our ball use, and we're not able to complete our tackles. That was our biggest problem as well. Yet Gold Coast, they were super, super fast on transition, and their ball skill was far more superior than ours. But we just couldn't lay a damn tackle with them. Tom Atkins couldn't even lay a tackle. It was just that they were just breaking through with absolute ease. Christian Petrarca, all of a sudden, he was playing like he was playing in the 2021 grand final. That's just how damn good he was. And players like Leonardo Lombard, like, no disrespect, but who the fuck is Leonardo Lombard? I didn't know who he was until he kicked a couple of goals. And Connor O'Sullivan was on him as well. He was caught like a deer of headlights out in the back. But yeah, it's just crazy because we weren't smashed in every department, but it's just how we use the ball. It's just what absolutely costed us, and just the effort after half time. The complacency, we gave up and all of that. And this could have been nearly an 100-point loss. We could probably thank Gold Coast for putting the cue in the rack, because this could have been a lot uglier, Lucas. It was a bad loss, but this could have been worse.
My emphasis around this game was stopping the inside 50 count. And like I said, 71 inside 50s. If they do that every game, if they do that in finals, then they'll beat Brisbane, they'll beat Footscray, they'll beat anybody. They'll win the flag.
Let's not forget, they beat Brisbane at their home ground as well, at the People First Stadium. I think I said this on another show. I reckon they'll go unbeaten at home. It's just the biggest test for them is, can they do it on the big stage at the MCG? That is their biggest test. Brisbane in the past, that was their problem. Like, unbeatable at the Gabba, but when it comes to the MCG, at one point, they couldn't win a game there. They couldn't win a game there for about 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
That's the Gold Coast next step. Can they do it on the big stage? And, if you're winning the inside 50 count for a ridiculous margin like that, you could win the premiership.
We didn't do too bad in the inside 50s. We had 60. Yeah, they scored 60 more. I'm rounding it up here, but they scored 60 more points than us.
Yeah.
For only 10 more inside 50s. So their efficiency went absolutely through the roof. Like I said, Long, King, Humphrey, G-Bear, Lombard combined for 12 goals. 12 goals.
But it's just their efficiency was a lot more better than ours. Their disposal efficiency was, and that's the killer, as well. Like, if you're not clean with the ball, just forget about it. That's fundamentals at the end of the day. Like,
with Petrarca, that I can't think of a player debut better than that. I can't think of any. Like, I'm not talking about first game debut. I'm just talking about a game with your debut game with your new club. I can't think of a better performance. We had no answer to him. We had no answer. We didn't even.
Paddy Dangerfield, Easter Monday.
Easter Monday. Oh, yes, against Hawks. Yes. We kicked a couple of goals, had 30 touches, but 34 and 3 goals. We tried. We had a tagger. We We had a target in Mullins, but he wasn't tagging.
Nah.
I don't understand that. So you pick a tagger.
Who was he on? I'm just getting in the lineup now.
Technically, I think it was Atkins or Smith.
He started at half forward. Yeah, Zach Guthrie was on him. Yeah, but then he moved to the midfield. It was over.
Yeah, so he had nobody. So and once again another midfielder kicking 3 goals. This is now a problem playing Geelong. If you're an opposition coach and you're up against Geelong, send your best midfielder forward. That smash them on the inside, smash them on the loose ball gets. Those 2 efforts by Max Holmes. I'm not picking on one player here, but those 2 efforts by Max Holmes, one in 15 seconds, where he didn't even bother to pick the ball up. That was absolute bullshit.
I lost it at that one. I actually got off my seat and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You fucking pick up the ball backs. You know
what the fuck was that about? He's had a lot of scrutiny because of his grand final performance and his state of origin performance. You had a statement to make and you try to kick it off the deck and you completely missed it. And not once. And then you did it again 2 minutes later. Then he decides, you know what, maybe I should pick it up. And evolves in a Dry Clark goal.
Yeah.
Mate, why couldn't you? Too late. Horses bolted. That was really disappointing for Max Holmes, really. And you had people out there saying, "Oh, he had a good game." You know where? What good game?
Yeah,
he racked up 15 seconds.
He racked up 29, but like Sam Walsh, no impact.
So what?
He's just
nothing. He has nothing.
So is Bailey Smith. I'll tell you who was really good, and that was Tanner Bruin. But he was playing mainly off of half back. Like, why aren't we chucking him in the midfield? Like, he's cherry ripe, ready to go. He wasn't behind the 8 ball at all. Throw him in the midfield. Like, he was legit our best player all night for Geelong. You know.
And the final thing, change things if it's not working. Well, technically they did something. They proved Dempsey to fall forward, but what the fuck did that meant nothing to me. Yeah, he kicked 3 goals, but that meant absolutely nothing. We know Dempsey can take those marks. He did it. He took a good mark against the Crows in Gather Round last year, inside the goal square. We know he can do that. So what? What did that prove? That proved nothing.
Yeah, he did.
You should have put him in the midfield. Yeah.
But why wasn't he in his best position in the wing? Like, I said this to my mate Gary at the game. Like, he's been sitting on the forward pocket. Like, why isn't he on the wing? Why aren't we throwing him as an inside mid as well? Like, and the same goes to Mitch Nevitt. I thought Mitch Nevitt did okay for playing in a position that he was uncomfortable with. He was able to crash the pack. He got himself a goal, but you know, this would have been it. But again, it's just like his best position is playing in the midfield. Where's the trust to throw him in there? We just can't go continuing to play, you know, Bailey Smith, Max Holmes, and James Warple all in the same team. Tom Atkins in as well. You got to change it up. Like, you know, just try something. Look, and if it doesn't work out, at least we say, all right, we tried it out. We throw Dempsey in the midfield. It didn't work out, but we had a go. But we didn't see anything at all. And that's what I found really, really disappointing from Chris Scott, Nathan Buckley, and the coaches box as well. But I'd like to know whose idea was to put Mitch Nevitt in the forward pocket. Was it Chris Scott or was it Nathan Buckley? I'd like to know. But the club will never tell us. They never will. You know, they never even allow us to go. You know, for they have training behind closed doors at GHBA as well. So, you know, but I don't know. I like to know. I really do. Seriously.
The only positive I can take, well, there's no positive. It's more a consolation that there was no injuries. That's the only thing decent with this game. I don't think there was any injuries to anybody, which is good. The last thing we needed was an injury. So that's the only thing I can take from that.
Touch wood, you know, for training, training throughout the week. who knows that there might be a bit of there might be a report. Some player A's got a calf injury. He'll be out for fucking God knows how long. Knowing Geelong, but we'll see. We'll see, mate.
Fremantle. We've got a preview show for that. We'll do more on that. But Fremantle coming up. Interesting to see how that goes. It's interesting to see how all the first teams will go because they've played first. See how they recover well compared to teams that are now starting. If there's rust or whatnot. But anyway, Fremantle up next in Geelong. Historically, Fremantle are actually pretty good there, especially in finals. But we'll move on from that. Before we do, Brad Close. We talked about this player over and over again. Apparently, he's there for his forward line pressure. He had 11 pressure acts. 11 pressure acts. Never had 10. Never in a foreign position had 10, by the way. So he needs to do something against Freo. For me, he shouldn't be playing. He needs to kick some goals.
I said drop him for Polkinghorne and bring in like a player like George Stevens or Ollie Wiltshire in. But I think I'll give Close the benefit of the doubt. I'll give him another game. But if he puts up another performance like that, he should be dropped. He needs to go back to the twos and work on his forward craft. You know, O'Shea Mullen. I think he needs to be. I think he needs to be dropped as well. Like they say, he's an athlete with aerobic capability and all of that. You know, his ability to find the ball. He wasn't fucking finding the ball at all. He only had 4 disposals. That's just absolutely putrid. 4 Lucas. You know, what does he bring out? What does he bring outside of tagging? I don't think he brings anything. You know,
and we didn't even fucking use him as a tag anyway. Who was he on? So what's the point of that? I'd love.
You either fight the footy, or you're not in the fucking team at all.
Yeah.
Simples. It's not good enough. Not good enough. I'm sorry. Like, nah.
I'd love to know whose final decision it was not to play Jay Polkinghorne. All the signs we did in pre-season, and we didn't play him. I'd love to know who decided that because it seems to me that Shannon Neal doesn't want to be a pack marker. He wants to be a run and gun, a lace out forward. That's fine, mate.
Yeah.
That if you don't want to use your body and crush the pack, that's fine. All right? But I think there are better players than you doing that. I think Jay Polkinghorne can do that better, in my opinion.
At the moment, he can fucking crash the pack as well. Like Shannon Neal, he wasn't aggressive in the forward line at all. Whereas Jay Polkinghorne, an absolute threat. We saw signs in the preseason. He was killing it in the VFL last year. Like Jay Polkinghorne would have been kicking himself on match day, and I said this in the review on the review show as well. Like, yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised there was no late change or anything like that. It's I don't know. I don't know, and I agree. He's probably our international quota. We do like our Irish players, don't we? You know, but yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know what I see in O'Shea Mullen outside of tagging as well. Like
he had all preseason. He had all preseason to do something.
Yeah.
Fucking dishes up that shit. That's bullshit, mate. Nah, fuck off.
I don't care about your aerobic capability or to do. That's all of our hard-earned membership money fucking going to him, coming to Ireland, coming here, you know?
Yeah.
Get the fucking ball.
Either fucking shut down an opponent, which you're supposed to do, or find the ball. And when you don't do that, well, you are a liability in that team. We're not picking on O'Shea Mullen that way, but you know he had a whole preseason. He got exposed badly by McCluggage, and it looks like, though game 1, he hasn't done fuck all about it. Anyway, moving on to Saturday, Arvo noon. Surprising game. I said this early in my tips. I can't believe GWS are this short. I know they're depleted with injury. Adam Kingsley did something very good in this game, in my opinion. But anyway, I'll get into a little bit. 19-8, 122 GWS Hawthorn 14-11-95. Where was this played at? I don't even know what their stadium's called. I'll just say fucking West Sydney Stadium. No one knows. Energy Stadium. Energy, I don't know. Fuck knows. The Kia Arena, I couldn't care less. No idea. Got no idea. What's it called, Kyri?
It's NG Stadium, but it's just like
Stadium.
It's like they just change the sponsorship names every 5 minutes, you know. Like, yeah.
GWS and Hawthorn up there, Western Sydney Oval. The string, the package, kicked 5 goals. If he's kicking 5 goals, that's probably a reflection of the opposition. To be honest, no disrespect to the string, but at times he can be really awful. Though he does have field days against us, though, so that's probably a reflection on us.
100% he does.
kick 5 goals. Hogan and Ricardo, Riccardi. I'll call him Ricardo. Combined for 6 goals, 3 goals each. They were depleted in their midfield, Kyri. They had to do something. And Adam Kingsley, he threw the magnets around. He put Canelio in the midfield. He put Toby Green in the mid. Toby Green played a full game on the midfield. Canelio kicked 3 goals. Another midfielder kicking goals, though he is a forward. But whole game in the midfield, 22 touches. Toby Green, 20 touches, 3 assists. He needs to fix up his efficiency if he's going to play midfield. That's not good enough, Toby, but it's his first full game there, I believe. Gunston kicked 4 goals. Still keeps on going, that Gunston. Keeps on going.
He could go another 5 years. He's like, in terms of longevity, it's just like LeBron James, isn't it? Yeah.
And the Wizard Ginnivan and the Wizard did well. I ran out of characters there, but they kicked 2 goals each. Favourites, Hawthorn were the favourites, but GWS bounced them in the first quarter. They kicked 5-6 goals in that first quarter, Kyri, and that was basically it.
Yeah. I thought I didn't watch this game as I was catching the train from the Gold Coast to Brisbane, but I was listening to a bit on the broadcast. Obviously coming in, I thought Hawthorn was just going to absolutely steamroll them, because they absolutely blitzed them in the elimination final last year. I was expecting the same sort of thing. It could have gone close as well, like the final last year. But I just thought with the depleted GWS midfield, I thought easy 4 points in the bag for the Hawks. And just coming out of the train, just couldn't believe the score. And like midway through the second quarter, Clayton Oliver, I thought he had an impressive debut in his new club as well. Another ex-Demons player putting in an absolute clinic. Sorry, Melbourne fans, if you're listening to this show, but yeah, he was impressive, wasn't he? 26 disposals, kicked himself a goal.
Yep.
Yeah, and 10 clearances. He just looks like he's enjoying his footy again as well, like Christian Petrarca. I thought he was really, really impressive. And full credit to Adam Kingsley. He got the game plan right, switching up the magnets. I thought Toby Green was really good in the middle. Colinio, I thought he was playing back to his best footy as well. It was a vintage Colinio performance. All around, a very good performance from the Giants. For credit to the Hawks, though, they did try and make the scoreboard look respectable. And I wish Geelong did that against Gold Coast, because the Giants did pretty much put the queue in the rack. But look, if I were a Hawks fan, I probably wouldn't throw the baby out of the bathwater and all of that. Just an off day for them. John Newcomb was pretty good. Ginnivan was all right. Connor McDonald. But yeah, you do think they are missing that A grade sort of like midfielder. Obviously missing out on Zach Merritt, which hurt them. I know they were trying to go for. I don't know if Christian Petrarca was linked to the Hawks at the time being as well.
No, I don't think he was. No, not that I'm aware of.
I think losing Merritt in the losing out to Merritt in the trade period has absolutely hurt him. And Will Day out for quite some time too. I thought he would have been handy in that game as well. But look, I think the Hawks will be fine. I've got them in my top 4 in this year. But yeah, it's just they need to figure out who's going to be that A grade player beside Jai Newcomb as well.
Yeah, I found it interesting Adam Kingsley's response to this game, because This is like a carbon copy of the elimination final last year. Hawthorn blitzed them in the first half. They did put their foot off the gas. Hawthorn and Gold Coast, GWS almost catched up to them, but Hawthorn did it in the end. I thought it was similar to this. What impressed me was the bravery of Kingsley of mixing it up. You know, Toby Green has never played a full game of midfield ever. I don't think ever. To throw him in the first game, I thought was really brave. He ended up 3 assists. Cornelio, I thought was fantastic. Yeah, they had Oliver, but I think this was full credit to Adam Kingsley. I think he worked really hard on this game. Wanted a bit of retribution, and full credit to him. So I think that was one in the coach's box. He did a really good job of adjusting to that, Adam Kingsley. I really rate him high. We have said on this show previously that do the players respect that kind of mentality, a mongrel 90s mentality, and this was a really good response by their players. So that's good signs for GWS with depleted injury. So they'll get their numbers back. They'll get some players back. They won't get Tom Green though. That's a huge loss, but the other players will come back and they will get a little bit better. Saturday night, the game of the round, which wasn't even on free to air, which was disappointing for me.
That one. That was an absolute cracker. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, I'll just read this and I'll let you take over this entire game. Brisbane 15-16, 106. Had their chances, Brisbane. Footscray 16-15, 111. The Bond kicked 3 goals and 20 disposals. Ed Harris kicked 3 goals, 20 disposals. Charlie Cameron, 4 goals. Unbelievable. Neil Zorko and Ashcroft had 100 touches between them. But Brisbane, they had their chances. Cameron Lohman missed 2 couple of goals late in that fourth quarter. Kyri, your review on this game?
Yeah, it was an absolute cracker. Like while I was up there, I thought I may as well go see a Lions game at the Gabba, and it turned out to be an absolute classic. It reminded me of like that elimination final in 2021 or semi-final when they played each other. It was in the COVID years. It was just an absolute arm wrestle. I thought in that first half, the Bulldogs were just kicking themselves out of it. It was like they had like 7 scoring shots, and it was like 1 goal to 6. And I thought, gee, if they keep kicking out of this, Brisbane will absolutely punish them. But when Brisbane had the ball, I thought they weren't. I thought they weren't convincing. They were good, but not as damaging as what they were last year. They were doing these long bomb sort of kicks. Their spearhead stood up. I thought Logan Morris was fantastic. I think he's one of the best young key forwards at the moment. And he doesn't get much credit because he's playing in a stacked Brisbane Lions team. If I get the stats up here, Dane Zorka off of halfback. He's turning back the clock as well. Ed Richards was elite for the Dogs. I thought Bontempelli was a bit quiet throughout the game, but then in the fourth quarter, he just put the team on his back, and it reminded me of the Adelaide Crows Brisbane Lions game last year. I went to that one too, and in that fourth quarter, Brisbane just couldn't put the game to bed. They had their chances up at goal. I think it was 3-7 to. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Bulldogs they were able to patch up on the scoreboard in the fourth quarter, and Brisbane just couldn't finish their dinner. Like just couldn't put the game to way. It could, but the funny thing was, it could have gone either way. That's how good it was. And it was definitely the game of the opening round, and I feel sorry for people who don't have KO, who don't have Foxtel. This is what it should have been on free to air. If you're going to have just 5 games for the opening round, you may as well do all 5 games on free to air. But cracker of a game, definitely made up for the Friday disaster class for sure.
Yeah, to your credit, I think the Footscray kicked 7 goals in that last quarter. Apologies
Yep.
to Ed Richards. I said Ed Harris. I've been watching too many movies. The late great Ed Harris that passed away a few weeks ago, the actor. So sorry, Ed Richards. I've been watching too many movies. I actually watched Enemy at the Gates a couple of days ago, which was a war movie. And yeah, sorry about that, Ed Richards. Now you actually mentioned that this was a cracker game, and there was no free to air. Yet they free to aired the next game, and this was a typical absolute bomb. This was a typical St Kilda game. 9-12-66, Collingwood 11-12-78. It was really the diacos show. No one in particular. 77 touches between the two brothers. Nick 41. There's 3 votes. Josh 36. Oh, so back on this game, be interesting to see. Sorry, be interesting because Neil had 41 touches. Now umpires are given stats in this game. It'd be very interesting to see if he gets 3 votes for this game now that the stats are available. So Bont had 3 goals and 20. Ed Richards had 3 goals and 20 touches. So it'd be very interesting with that one. But anyway, moving on. Diacos show, 77 touches between them. Nick and Josh 41 and 36. I saw a tactical change with Collingwood I think Geelong can use going forward. They moved Scott Pendlebury to the bench. Now, this came from nowhere for me because all preseason they tried him half back. All preseason. And then they just didn't start him off the bench. They waited. They waited until the 10th minute mark. And then they moved him up forward, kind of a high forward midfield role. He was unbelievable, Scott Pendlebury. I think this was his best game since the Norm Smith 15 years ago. He had 25 touches, career high assists, 81 disposal efficiency. I did not see that coming, with all due respect. Because, like I said, they've been trying him half back, and there was positive signs there. But to start him on the bench, keep him on the bench, and move him forward, didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah, nah, and with 55% time on ground, mind you, as well. Yeah, no, I thought he was fantastic. And going back to Geelong as well, and with a 5-man rule on the bench, if Dangerfield is available for selection next week, does he play that same sort of role? Personally, I'd absolutely think so.
Yeah.
Because in the preseason game against Carlton, when Danger got off the bench, he was good. He was able to give burst through the middle, then rest up in the forward line. I'd like to see it happen personally. But yeah, it was a vintage performance, Lucas. It definitely. I think probably his best game since one of the Anzac Day matches he had as well. But yeah, was an absolute master stroke by Craig McRae. Full credit to him. On the St Kilda side, what could you say about them? New season, same old St Kilda. They spent all this money in the summer, but yeah, it's just the same old crap from them, isn't it? And I thought Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera, he got tagged by Perryman, who's not even a tagger at all. I thought he was underwhelming, and it goes to show. Oh, look, with all due respect, Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera is a great player, no doubt about it. But it shows that when you're playing out of your life in your contract year, and he only became good when St Kilda had nothing to play for in the second half of the season as well. And this is no shade to Nasiah at all. I'm sure he'll bounce back. There will be some really good performances from him. I expect him to make the All-Australian team again and win a best and fairest for the Saints. But he's not worth that coin. He's not worth that coin. And honestly, I think the Crows in Port Adelaide probably dodged a bullet. To pay overs to get this man. In terms of, I thought De Koning was a bit Silvani, one who I really feel bad for is Rowan Marshall. Unfortunately, he got concussed in that game. Played up forward for the majority of the game, but he just looked lost. He's not a forward, for fuck's sakes. You feel really, really bad for him, and you could see why he wanted to come to Geelong to be the number one ruck. But yeah, at the end of the day, we didn't pay up to get him. We thought St Kilda were going to roll out the red carpet for him to come to the Cattery. That's the ultimate price we got to pay for. But yeah, you just got to feel for Rowan Marshall. Like yeah, he's playing in a position he's not comfortable in. Yeah, it's
Matthew Lloyd said it. Matthew Lloyd said it on radio.
Yeah.
That he's not a forward. He wanted to go to Geelong to be a ruckman. And roster boss, new players, same old roster boss. This game did not reach any outstanding heights. Let's be honest here. Since when did roster boss games ever do that anyway? Good. You stopped. Collingwood only managed 78 points, but you only managed 66. So you spent all these off-season on defensive players. Silvani, though, got forward. DeConey. You kept Marshall. Yet your forward line is just not good enough. There's no A-graders there. There's nothing there. Missy Higgins had a quiet game. So where's your goals going to come from if he has a quiet game? That's and your midfielders, apart from the side, they're not damaging. They're really not damaging.
One pace, slow, light.
Yep.
It's I think it's overhyped throughout the whole summer and all of that, and but then again, it's just like, I don't know. Ross Lyon, Alistair Clarkson, outdated tactics and all of that too. But every time they come play Geelong, fuck them.
Well, every time when St Kilda plays Geelong, St Kilda play attacking football and look $1 million. They look unbeatable. But it just goes to show you preseason is just bullshit, just absolute bullshit. All St Kilda was raving about was their recruits and how they've got quicker with their ball movement. It was the same old. Too slow as a snail's funeral. Sideways kicking, switching. Sinclair had 31 touches as a defender, but that's because the ball, got switched to him 100 times. So just same old tactics. And I said this last year when they signed all these players. These players might get sick of this tactic. They might have immunity. They might say, you know what, it's not us, it's the coach. I think Ross the boss is in huge trouble if they don't do anything this year. I think he's almost gone because the players will say, well, we came here to your club. We brought in the whatever message he did say, and it hasn't worked. You got Messiah on $2.1 million a year, which I think is ridiculous. So you've kept all your free agents. You've kept Messiah. You've kept Rowan Marshall, which is good for you. Yet same old tactics by Ross the boss. And the one thing he really needed was a forward. He didn't get that. Yes, Tom DeConey can go forward here and there, but they needed a legit A-grade forward. They had an opportunity with Curnow, and he went to Sydney. So, and in fact, they didn't even look at Curnow. So that's the one area that they needed to improve, and they didn't. So, and like I said, this game was horrible. This did not reach any heights.
Terrible. And again, it's just like this is why. If you want to expand the game, like as well with the opening round and all of that, and this, you got the Grand Prix competing in Melbourne in that weekend as well. Obviously, more people will go into the Formula One and all of that too. Like, and I saw an article by Cal Toomey. Apparently, the Adelaide Crows they want to do a game in opening round. Well, you just may as well bring all the teams back and just call it round one, like which I guess is our next point of the agenda as well, isn't it, Lucas?
Well, So it's 25 rounds in the season, yeah?
24?
24.
Well, yeah, 24, pretty sure.
I'm not counting wildcard round. Fuck that. So yeah, 24. Just make it 25. Just bring in an extra round where you can have opening rounds. Every team plays in every state. So Adelaide now getting frustrated that they want games. I think it's so if anyone didn't know, it's actually a public holiday today in Adelaide because of the Adelaide Cup. So what they can do double headers. They can play Port or Crows in the early game, and they can play Crows or Port in the night game. I think that's a fantastic opportunity to do that. Don Pike, I don't know if you saw his comments. Don Pike said, leading up to opening round, there should be a game on every day from from Wednesday to Monday. We used to do that during COVID, where we had a game every day, and I actually like that. I actually like that idea from Don Pike. Start Sydney can have it can be a new tradition. Start Sydney on the Wednesday or whatever, or Thursday or whatnot. Have the Crows and Port Adelaide play on the public holiday. I think that would be a good addition. But having said that, I just made a video 2 weeks ago about the cricket. So if you're making another round, you're now moving the season forward and forward. What the fuck are we doing? Now we got Scott Boland getting into it. Scott Boland doesn't interfere in anything. Fuck me. Have you tried getting Scott Boland's autograph? My God, it's like
you couldn't get a photo.
You'd have better chances of going into Syria as an Israeli soldier, for crying out loud. You know, it's just you have a better chance of survival as an Israeli soldier in Syria than getting a Scott Boland photo. My God, I was there at a Shield game with Scott Boland. It took me 20 days. I swear to God, I think he just got tired of me in the end and he just said, all right, mate, come on, fair dinkum. You know, now he's complaining about the moving of the Shield and whatnot. So goodness sake, and then just stop it with
can't have your cake and eat it too.
Oh well, I can't even go to the MCG for the Sheffield Shield final for South Australian if we win the last game. I can't even go to that. It'd be in bloody St Kilda, for crying out loud. You might as well have it in fucking Sydney. So it's just a joke that they keep moving the AFL season around. But yeah, 25 rounds next year. Have this from Wednesday to Monday. Do the Don Pike idea. Have the Crows and Port Adelaide doubleheader on the public holiday. That's my thoughts on that. What would you do per se?
Yeah,
would you even bother with it?
Just adding to that, I think it'd be a great idea as well. Like you said, there's been no sport here in South Australia. I know Adelaide United played on Friday, but other than that, we don't really have anything. You know, Adelaide Oval is free for the next couple of weeks. There's no Crows or Port Adelaide game next weekend. They're both playing away from home. Crows playing Collingwood MCG, Port Adelaide playing North Melbourne at Marvel. It's open. Definitely do a doubleheader at the Adelaide Oval because in round 2 anyway, they're going to be back at Adelaide Oval. They're playing there. Both of them are playing there on the same weekend. So I can't see why not, Lucas. And you know, I tend to agree. You know, I know we're Geelong supporters, but I know people here in South Australia, they are absolutely hungry for their footy at the moment, and you know, and they have to wait for 2 weeks for their first home game of the season as well. Yeah, that'd be great opportunity because you know. But with that being said, just start opening round in round 1, like you know, just completely scrap. Maybe have it. If you want to do it in Queensland and New South Wales, that's fine. I'm all for it. But have all 18 teams do it as well. Maybe play games in Canberra as well. Maybe some in the NT.
Yeah.
You know, Tasmania, with Tasmania going to come in the league in a couple of years' time as well. But you know, just don't do this. Just don't have half the league do it. And you know, look, fair play to the Crows wanting about it, but I think it's time we just we just bring back all 18 teams and call opening round 1 like it used to be.
Start if you want Richmond and Carlton. Start them on a Wednesday. Thursday Sydney and whoever. Saturday Brisbane and whoever. Sunday the public holiday So Monday the public holiday. Crows and Port Adelaide, and then Sunday your Collingwood and St Kilda. They seem to want to. That seems to be a new tradition now. They want to.
Collingwood don't want to travel. They'll get their game at the MCG. Like,
yeah,
you know,
the F1 game they call it. So and then Tuesday you can have a random team. So I like that idea from Don Pike. Usually we go our shows for an hour, but we are strapped for time. I'm on a time restriction, so it'll be a short show today. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, just on that, you mentioned Adelaide United. We're not doing well with our sport this week, are we, when it comes to our Adelaide teams? United, we're not anyway. Geelong United, shocking result. They should have really bet Wellington with all due respect. So we're not doing too good. So hopefully this week, you can start tonight with the 36ers. Hopefully.
Yes.
Though I haven't checked that score. Have they even started? What's the score, Kyri?
I thought it was tomorrow.
Okay. Tomorrow.
It shows how ignorant I am of the 36ers. Yeah, it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow night at the entertainment centre.
Right.
36ers playing Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. I won't be going to that one, but hopefully I could get to a game at least. But I'm always at the Reds games and all of that. I'll be going to the. I know the women's are playing this Friday night, so I'll come for that one. But yeah, I know your Redbacks. They're hanging in at the moment. They're hanging in there for their Shield events. So, you know,
I've got my holidays booked to St Kilda, the Melbourne St Kilda, not the Adelaide St Kilda. I've got my tickets booked, my flight. Where all we need to do is have a draw. Just a draw, boys, So, Victoria, if you can make the biggest road possible and then just back for 4 days, that would be perfectly fine with me.
Just have a Bad Bunny concert the night before, I reckon. Yeah.
Absolutely, because those dozers in Queensland, Marnus Labuschagne and Kawaja, they cannot buy a run. And it's very amusing. And I can't imagine them idiots in the final. But anyway, so hopefully a much better with our sport this week with Geelong, Reds, and the 36ers. But anyway, we are strapped for time. Apologies for a shorter show, but I'm on restricted minutes. Now I'm doing 4 videos a week. Last year I was only doing 2. But anyway, next show coming up is tips on Wednesday, preview show on Wednesday. My restriction will be back by then. And then watch along. Who have we got, Kyri? Oh, yeah, Fremantle. Was that Saturday Arvo game?
Yeah, it's a Saturday Arvo game. I think 3 p.m. kickoff.
So that means if you are watching my watch along, I will be listening to the KO. This would be the first time I'd have to buy KO because it won't be on free to air. But any Geelong game that's on Channel 7, I will watch on Channel 7. But KO for me this week. Thank you very much. Make sure to subscribe and like and subscribe to Kyri's Red Dawn TV show. He just did his video today of the Wolves FA Cup result. That's one competition Liverpool are doing well in. So join Kyri for that one. Join me next time, and we will see you next. Goodbye for now.